Hi, welcome to the ComplySyncATO demo. My name is Manasi, and I am a cybersecurity analyst who has benefited greatly from ASSYST ComplySyncATO. And with us, we have.
Hi, my name is Pranav Nair, and I'm the AI engineer for the Complexing ATO, and I've been responsible for working on the AI side of ComplySync with, creating the AI analysis and, working on getting insights into ComplySync control definitions and responses. And with that, yeah, we can dive straight into the demo.
So, with our ComplySyncATO demo, we are now creating a new information system. So, for our information system name, we'll start with just using XYZ. Our ISSO will be under the name John Doe, and our contact email will be johndoe@xyz.com. So this is what we're naming our system. This is the ISSO involved. Now, when we go to system type, for the sake of this demo, we're using a general support system, but as you saw, there were multiple options. For an acronym, in this case, we're just going to use XYZ again, and our TLC phase for this is under operate. So for our description, we're just using that this is an information system, but if you're working with multiple systems, it's good to have a slightly more in-depth description for it. And that can be done at the behest of the ISSO filling this out. So once we filled in this basic information, we then go to information system categorization, where we have our ATO category. We're using medium for this, but as you saw, we have low, medium, and high. We have the cybersecurity framework, and we have our version. So this is all NIST RMF compliant. It's all with the latest standards. And we also have our hosting provider. So for this, we're just using Azure, but it works if you're using AWS or if you're doing an on-prem system as well. And we also have stakeholders. So you have business owners, chief information officers, ISSO, contract support, and security assessor. This demo will not be using any stakeholders, but this is something that users can avail. Then we have a general system description. So this is where you would put in your RTO, your RPO, your WRT, your financial system, the maximum tolerable downtime, and whether or not you want to include cloud-based services. So taking all of this information, you would then save the information system that you've just created. So now we have a little record showing that it's been created successfully. So for this control, we are going to populate it with a Excel file that we've already created. This one is for the ComplySync demo, and it is using the file ComplySyncGA demo. This is already populated with about 8 controls. And once we have uploaded that, it shows that your file has been uploaded successfully. And we will take this and we will process it. So you can process, open, you can edit even within the ComplySync system. So in this case, we have decided to just go to the first one, stick with processing, and you can see that under status where it shows processing. And it's been uploaded by the system admin. And once it has finished processing, what it then does is gives you a list of AI analysis, implementation status, and responses. So the processing step is where our AI comes in. ComplySync ATO reads through the responses that you've given. It reads through the control definitions that these responses have been filled out for, and analyzes them, looks at them, and decides whether your documentation is fully implemented based on your responses, and then gives a justification as to why it has decided that. And once it's given those justifications, it also has action items. Okay, ComplySync's read through it. It says that this is our response, whether it's fully implemented, partially implemented, or not implemented, gives a justification for that, and then tells you what you need to do next to ensure that you maintain your ATO status. So now we can see that ComplySync has finished processing our document, and you have a little clipboard, which is the results table off to your right. And we're just going to download that and open it. So this is going to look at, so this basically looks at our controls responses and gives you the results. So now that we've downloaded it, we're just going to quickly open it, and you have the result, all of the necessary documentation available. We're just quickly reformatting it, and now you have the ID can be inherited, control definition, and responses, and that is what you have submitted to ComplySync ATO. Now, what it has given you back is the implementation status, the AI analysis, and the action items. So if we scroll down just a little bit, we can see the implementation status for this first document, and that shows as partially implemented. Great, you filled out some of it, you've not gotten all of it. So our AI analysis states that the response indicates that the training will be provided to members of the organization, but it doesn't state that the training will be provided to all defined personnel or roles. Pretty important thing to make sure that you add. It's easy to slip by. So what ComplySync has done is it's looked at your response, goes, well, you filled out some of it, not all of it. Here's what you forgot, or here's what you haven't decided on yet. And it gives you a justification as to why it said this. Now you have the action items. So is the training being provided to all defined personnel or roles? What is the initial training schedule for new personnel or roles? Is the training being provided on a regular organization-defined frequency? Is there a mechanism in place to ensure that all personnel receive required training updates and refresher courses? So these are basically things that the ISSO needs to either do pending immediately to ensure that you are compliant, or needs to keep doing, because documentation in ATO is an ongoing process and it needs to remain up to date. So if you haven't done it now, you need to do it right now, and you need to keep doing it. And ComplySync really allows you to make sure that that process is accurate and ongoing. So we have this. You have ComplySync's AI generative capabilities in terms of really looking at your responses and making sure that you're complying with the current documentation status. But ComplySync also provides templates for your documentation needs. In this case, we're going to take all of that information that ComplySync has just gone through, and we're going to take it and create an SSP out of it. So SSP, your master document, you're going to need it for whatever project you're working on, whatever system you're working on. So ComplySync has taken those controls that you have just submitted to it. It's taking the information that you have added for your basic information system creation, and it's created a template. So now that we have downloaded our template, we are going to open it. So opening our ComplySync ATO template, we have our SSP. And as we scroll down, we show it's the XYZ system security plan for whatever system you're working on, whatever organization needs this. It shows the date created, and it has your table of contents. And so here we have the information system name, title, acronym, system phase, your stakeholders, your information system type. So a lot of this information will then be taken from the information system and the information that we've already filled out on the ComplySync ATO and on the portal. And if we keep scrolling down, we can then see that the responses that we had provided to ComplySync initially and had it review and had it analyze has now been added to this format. So you have the control that was used, AT3, you have the response that you had filled out, and then you have the implementation status, partially implemented, the AI analysis, the action items. So this is information that ComplySync had taken, had given to you initially in an Excel form, which helps you just sort through it, really look through it, edit it on the spot. And now you have it cleaned up and taken and put in an SSP format. So this makes your job a lot easier. You have now those same responses that you've taken and uploaded, and that was given back to you in the same form. It's now an SSP template. So this helps you really sort of centralize your documentation process and really reduce the amount of workload that you have. And this is really pushed forward by ComplySync's Gen AI capabilities and its analysis, which makes the job of ISSOs, of developers, of auditors a lot easier. So this was the ComplySync ATO demo. Thank you for your time. Hopefully this has been a good snapshot of the capabilities that Gen AI brings through our ComplySyncATO platform and for the ATO process as a whole.